Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today we're taking a look at the new LEGO Star Wars 2024 Imperial Star Destroyer that comes out on August 1st for $170. LEGO sent me this early to review, but of course all thoughts are my own. Now this set has 1,550 pieces and 7 minifigs, 6 of which are new, so to speak. We'll get into that in just a moment, but this set is really interesting. It is technically the smallest play scale Imperial Star Destroyer we've gotten to date. As far as size goes, it's about 18 inches from front to back, so it is going to take up a considerable amount of shelf space, but technically less shelf space than its predecessors. So I could see some people being excited about that, some people not, but the other thing to think about is when we're talking about the original trilogy, we have not gotten a play-scale version of this ship in 10 years. So, with a lot of new collectors coming into the scene after 2020, it's definitely high time we got this set again, and in today's video, we're going to take a closer look at everything there is to see, so let's get into it. Okay, up first, we've got the Darth Vader minifigure. Probably the least exciting figure here, just because we've gotten so many over the years. Just like traditional Darth Vaders, at least over the last several years, we can lift up the helmet and see a head underneath. I do believe we've gotten this head before, but if somebody in the comments knows that this is a new one or something, let us all know. Of course, it is nice that after all this time, Darth Vader now gets arm printing, and of course, there is some printing on the back of the torso too, which is really nice, but overall, doesn't really bring a ton new to the table like some of the other minifigs in this set, but even then, well, it's kind of interesting. To speed things up, we'll do 2 figures at a time, and this, of course, gives us the Stormtrooper and the Imperial Navy officer here. Both look really good. If we lift up the Stormtrooper helmet, you can see we've got a female head underneath. It is one-sided, so worth noting there, but once the helmet goes on, it's basically like every other Stormtrooper. And then for the Navy officer here, we've got regular black legs, a great torso print as well, and an olive head print. It's that new skin tone that LEGO's been using kind of recently, so that's cool. Of course, we get that same classic style helmet, which can be flipped around, showing us the back of the torso and a gritted teeth expression on the back of the head, just for some variants that make this figure really stand out. Here we've got an Imperial crew member and an Imperial Navy officer, both of which are new in terms of like the pieces used and all that. So I love that both have leg printing with the pockets on there, just really, really great leg prints overall, as well as the prints on the torso that look really good. Both have torso printing on the back. Neither of them have heads with printing on the back, but as we can see, the gunner has a really nice molded helmet, which we can lift up to see a female head underneath, and what I believe is a new head on this side. It's new to me at least, I've not seen it before, and the Imperial crew member hat. So overall, both are really nice figures, and I really like that we got a bunch of different Imperial rankings to help fill out the Star Destroyer. It definitely helps for army building, and definitely makes it feel a little bit more lived in. Our final Imperial member is Commander Prodigy, and this uses a standard Star Wars head and superheroes head, and just head we've gotten on a lot of different figures in general, with the same hat from the figure we just looked at, but we do get a new torso with the unique ranking badge there. Not really much to say beyond that. It does feel kind of phoned in because the head and hat are reused, but I guess the hat is as accurate as it can get, and the head works just fine, but it's kind of funny when you get like a named character like this that uses a generic head that's been used on nameless characters for years. And finally, the main attraction, we of course have Cal Kestis as well. This is a figure people have been wanting from LEGO for years, and now we finally got it. It does look really great. It's got this new kind of like reddish-orange hairpiece. The hairpiece isn't new, but it is new in that color, which is cool. Of course, the head is brand new as well, and we can flip that around to see kind of like a more angry fighting face on the back that looks great. Speaking of the back, look at that awesome torso print on the back, which travels around to the front. We also have kind of like gunmetal gray metallic legs there that have toe printing and just a slight sliver of hip printing as well. Of course, we've got that lightsaber and the 25 years of LEGO Star Wars stand for him, which can attach to the other 25th anniversary figures, so you can have a big display, and overall, I think it looks really great. Now, when it comes to big LEGO sets like this, it can be tricky to show them all on screen at the same time, so I've got it on my little rotator here so we can look at different details on the exterior as we move it around. As you can see, it is pretty big and gray, as you might expect for this ship, for it to be accurate to the movies, but on the back, we've got got these big engines here, and I think they look pretty good. They do spin, although that's not like a movie trick. I will try spinning, though. That is a good trick. We can lift up this piece here and see that we've got some extra missile storage in the back, which I think was a creative way to use that space. But unlike previous versions, this doesn't really open up to have any kind of functionality up in the bridge area. It just kind of is what it is up there. I always like these bulb pieces, though. I think that those work really well. But this is just a sticker across the front. In fact, it's our only exterior sticker on the entire ship. But yeah, as you can see, there's not really much else going on the outside as far as like the bigger build goes, but we do have this entire middle section here that does have a couple features built into it. So first and foremost, we can pull this tab and it moves the guns in unison, which is pretty cool. And of course, that action can be repeated on the other side here with the same tab. You'll see that this is kind of moving around as I, do it. This middle section kind of moves around. We'll get to that in just a moment. But then these flaps here can lift up like this, and then you can reach inside and pull out a handle to be able to hover fly it. And I do like how other Star Destroyers have had this a little bit more hidden. This one, I don't know, it really just kind of breaks up the look to me to have to like pull this handle out and have these open, but it's not the end of the world. It's just not my favorite thing. Now, the other thing to talk about are these little tabs right here. You can see we've got 2 green missiles on either side, and when we push that down, of course, you can shoot the missile out there and reload it just like this. And then if you happen to lose it, we've got those missiles in the back we just looked at a moment ago. Then finally, the last real thing to talk about is how the functionality of this section goes. It just kind of sits into this opening that you can see here, so you just kind of lift it up and pull it outward like that. And then you have this big giant monstrosity that you just got to set aside. That reveals the interior. And then the interior just opens up by moving those flaps off to the side. And then that gets us to all the inner details. So let's zoom in and take a look. So we'll start on the bridge area here. Needless to say, it is a little bit on the cramped side, and we just have this very narrow walkway that goes over the computers. There are 2 seats off to the side here where we have one, crew member there, and you could sit another here. And we do have some stickers on these sloped pieces, but it is a little weird that, like, okay, this guy's sitting right in front of a computer, but this guy's sitting in front of, like, a blank wall. I just don't know that the scaling works out perfect. It's not really the end of the world, but I don't know, it just feels like they didn't give enough area here to really build out any kind of like story or anything like that, so that does sort of bother me, to be honest. Especially when we look at something like Moff Gideon's light cruiser that had so much play area on the inside. It tells me it is possible in LEGO, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel as well executed here as it does on the light cruiser, which is similar price, similar scale, and basically the same ship, but a few years in the future for the Star Wars tech timeline. Now that brings us to the back room. Over here, you can see we've got like a little computer on the wall here with a syringe next to it. I guess that could be referencing the syringe from A New Hope, like in the droid they use on Leia. Then we can open up this, and we've got like a little canister in there, I guess like a Bacta canister. But that closes, and we've got a neat little Easter egg mouse droid build there in the corner. Little tricky to see, but he's there for sure. Then in the back, we've got this computer here that's kind of showing like a battle taking place in real time. I don't really love this. I get what they were going for. I just, like I said, don't really love it, but it is decent, and I think it's a cool, inclusion, even if I don't love the execution. We've got a computer sticker there and a matching one on the other side, as well as 2 screens here, one of which kind of shows the TIE fighters in action and any damage that's taken place, as well as damage that's taken place to the very ship that, we just built. So that's kind of interesting too. Well, moving over to this side, we've got some boxes over here that contain, if we open up this one, you could see, oh, it fell out. We've got binoculars in there, and then this box, which actually has the Imperial logo and some Arabesh printed on it, there are thermal detonators inside that one, so that's pretty cool. Make sure not to drop them. Then that brings us to this side, where we've just got a little table with a computer and a coffee cup, and a swivel chair that you can put your minifigs in. Then on the sides, back on the original room, we've just got a sticker here with some like Imperial computer detailing. And then on this side, we've got one that have 2 very famous droids on the screen there. So that's pretty interesting. And really, despite how big this set is, that's all there is to say about it. I mean, it's cool, it's big, it displays great, but at the end of the day, there's not all that much packed into it as far as like play and story goes. So I don't know. The interior is definitely my least favorite of any Playscale Star Destroyer to date. It's not to say it's bad, it's just my least favorite. So, let's wrap up the review and give you some final thoughts. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to talk about. This is specific to my set, but check this out. Look at these black dots on this piece compared to the one across from it. Those black dots are physically in the Lego piece. Like, it's a molding issue. There's like black dots in there. It's really crazy. I've never seen anything like that and just thought I should point it out. It's almost like an air molded piece with like injection colors from a previous piece mixed in or something. Never seen that before. Pretty wild. Alright guys, thanks for checking out this video. Let me know what you think of this Star Destroyer. There are a lot of things I'd really like, a lot of things that kind of leave me scratching my head, but overall, I think that this is a perfect Playscale Star Destroyer for anybody that needs one for their collection that wasn't collecting back in the day and is ready to add this one to their fleet. So, thanks again to LEGO for sending this my way. Be sure to hit like and subscribe down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.